Hello friends, welcome to day 3 of PSIR Probables for the upcoming Mains 2025. Myself Nikhil Gowda, the Insights Political Science and IR faculty. So today let's go into two other probable questions that can come in 2025 Mains. One is NATO. As we've seen that NATO has been in news for various reasons. So one of the questions that might come in the exam, or theme that might come in the exam, is the relevance of NATO. So how do we approach this question? And that is asked for 10 marks. So obviously I need a good introduction for this answer. So my introduction would be something, I can use a quote of Ismay, where you can say Lord Ismay said that NATO was established to keep the Germans down, the Russians out, and the Americans in. So this is what you can write as an introduction. Then what you can do is that then you can structure answer by saying that especially of the disintegration of Soviet Union, there was question mark over the relevance of NATO given the fact that emergence of a unipolar world. But then you can say, however, we look at the evolution of NATO. NATO has been able to evolve itself, so it is still relevant. One, you can write about it is looking for preserving democratic values and system in Europe. Second one, scholars argue that NATO's relevance will be required to limit any form of a Russian resurgence, and the recent, you can say, Ukraine conflict shows the need of NATO or relevance of NATO, where you had Emmanuel Macron who said the Ukraine war was what you can say a shock therapy to the brain dead NATO. And you can say NATO can also focus its energy mainly on now the rise of China through its like-minded partners, that is NATO plus. And fifth, you can also say relevance of NATO is also required to fight the emerging non-traditional security threats such as terrorism, cyber security. Okay, so I would write in points format in this question. And then I would also write in my answer that in spite of this relevance, NATO faces certain challenges. One, you can write about Trump's transactionalism, where he is asking for greater contribution from European partners. Second one, you can also say that within NATO, there is growing friction within the European powers, especially Britain, France, and Germany. Hence, you can say that NATO needs to reinvent itself for the needs of the 21st century. Something like this you can write in your answer. So this is how I would structure my answer. I'll bring more clarity in my answer. So clarity comes when structure is there. Okay, I hoped it helped you. Let's go on to the next question. So next question was about feminist approach to international politics is biased. Okay. So how do I address this question? One, I will write as my introduction here that, by 1960s, feminist approach emerged as a critical school criticizing the realist school of thought, which was the hegemonic school of thought till then. Then you can say feminist school of thought had argued about the masculine character of international politics, or you can also write about scholars such as Cynthia Enloe, in her work Banana, Beaches and Bases, had argued that where are the women in international politics? And you can also say they said it is men who make war because war makes them men. Okay, this is one paragraph I'm going to write. Then I'm going to write, however, it has been criticized as a biased idea by, you can write about structural realists such as Kenneth Waltz, who argues that gender alone does not shape international politics. It is the structure, that is anarchy and hierarchy, are the two moving forces. Then you can also write about that there can be also seen that there is a criticism that when Indira Gandhi, Margaret Thatcher led their respective states, they did push the states towards a militarized states. Okay, then you can also write the post-colonial feminists such as Chandra Mohanty, Jayavardhane have criticized the mainstream feminist approach for international politics for neglecting the issues of women in third world countries. But then you can conclude my answer on a positive note, where I'm going to write in my conclusion that in spite of this criticism, one cannot deny that the feminist approach to international politics brought the gender lens, and it also reconstructed the way we see international politics in a more cooperative way. This is what I would write in my answer, or this will be the flow of my answer, what I'm going to do in the given time. So both these questions have to be written in 7 minutes. That's why I told, if you have structures in your mind, it is more, you can write it effectively. So with this, we'll come to end of today's session. I'll meet you again with two important probable IR questions for tomorrow. Till then, take care.